Welcome to the Sports Porch Black and Gold edition here in Pittsburgh on this super gross, super hot night. We're not on the porch because the Grand Schwabini was afraid that he would melt.
It has nothing to do with me.
It has everything to do with you.
You decided to stay in.
Well, I was front-running you. I knew you would complain.
See what I have to deal with, people.
That's exactly right. So the Sports Porch Black and Gold, the podcast, you can catch it right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. We do drop it right after the show. And, of course, you can follow the Sports Porch Black and Gold on YouTube. We are at the Sports Porch Podcast. And what do we do here? Well, we talk about a lot of things, a lot of Pittsburgh things, mostly Pittsburgh sports.
Our favorite.
Of course, we're going to have Bucko talk tonight because we have to have Bucko talk. We're going to talk. There's nothing going on with the Steelers right now that's worth talking about. Camp's starting, what, next week?
No, they got a few more weeks until camp.
We did have a suspension to talk about.
We can talk about camp.
We can talk about camp. We're going to also talk. Hockey Jesus is going to dispel some rumors about a top-notch Penguins player.
So stay tuned.
We do have snack time with Trader Joe's, of course, and what we are watching and all of the ridiculousness in between that it comes with.
We got a lot of that.
Yes, welcome. If you're watching us live right now, you're watching us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X, and the Instagram crowd is in the house. Want to thank Fantasy Alpha for being here as well. And I did forget the Grand Schwabini will have a prediction.
Oh, yeah. It's
Absolutely.
a good one. You're going to want to hear this one.
You're going to want to hear it, folks.
Yeah. So let's talk real quick about the subject du jour, because in the dead zone, as we like to call it, in between hockey, football, and anything else relevant, we have Pirates baseball. And so congratulations are in order to Paul Skenes and Brian Reynolds, who have been named to the All-Star team. The Buccos, however, are... Thank you for the golf clap. I'm sure they appreciate that. The Buccos are, however, treading water. They lost the series to St. Louis. They just split with the Mets. They exploded for 14 runs on Friday night.
How much fun was that?
They hit 7 home runs in that game?
Yeah, two. But Reynolds had 2 and a grand slam, and Ratty had 2 and a grand slam.
You know what is terrible? Please don't get angry at me for saying this. I almost texted you guys once. I happened to be looking the moment when Reynolds hit the grand slam. Right. And I almost texted out, you should trade him now. His value will never be higher. Yeah, and you know what? There are some schools of thought going around. Not about Reynolds, though, although it's the same vein, about Mitch Keller. And as an example, Keller pitched 8 innings, got his 10th win to lead the Pirates over the Mets to split the series.
But he's not an all-star.
And he's not well, you know what? He's like 53rd in strikeouts per 9. He's like 56th in whip. He's actually, if you look at the statistics, he's not in the top 10 in any statistics except wins.
Yeah.
And wins are not just a result of him pitching. I mean, your offense has to score enough runs. I would say I don't think he's Pirates, an all-star. It has a lot to do with him.
Yeah, I think and this may be the only time you hear me say this, so you'll want to turn your volume up for this one.
We don't have to turn our volume up for you.
I actually feel a little bad for him.
Keller?
Yeah, I feel bad for Mitch Keller. Okay. And here's why. On any other team, he would be an all-star. But because the Pirates are who the Pirates are, he's not an all-star. If he was pitching for the Phillies right now, he would be an all-star. If he was even pitching for the Mets or the Yankees, absolutely would be an all-star. And I feel bad for the guy, honestly. He signed a good contract. He's living up to his billing as a Pirate, and the team and the organization is once again letting him down. So my apologies to Mitch.
I agree with you. I actually do. I agree with you. I think Mitch Keller is performing magnificently.
You still actually want to say that he's their number one pitcher, don't you?
No, but yes.
You're coming around.
That's a classic Klein answer. I know, but yes.
It's the Libra in me. It's the Libra in me. I want to say he's their number one pitcher because of the year he's having, based on the contract he signed.
The body of work.
Ooh, good one.
And the fact that, and this is an interesting thing I heard on the radio today. Okay. With Paul Skenes. So let's get right into this. With Paul Skenes being named to the All-Star team.
Mm-hmm.
And we could talk.
Rightfully so.
We can debate whether or not he'll start or he should start. I have a feeling that may be the Grand Schwabini's prediction, but
I know.
We can debate that all you want. And I also understand that Major League Baseball is a revenue producing business and the All-Star game is a revenue generating event.
Mm-hmm.
However, he has 10 games in the major leagues. 10 games.
The best 10 for any rookie ever.
That is true. Absolutely. That is true. There was a guy named Zach Duke who put together, like, previous to this, one of the 10 best starts to a career. And where the hell is he now?
How about Jose De Leon?
Right. I am not saying, look, for those of you who love Paul Skenes, I am not in the camp that loves Paul Skenes. I am in the camp that says, yes, he's got the potential 100%. He's showing it. Absolutely. But you got to give the guy's got to pitch a full season, and he's got to come back.
You feel like he should earn it more.
Absolutely. I think Mitch Keller
still has to prove himself.
I think he does. I really do. I mean, look, he has obviously proven that his billing was everything. He's got nasty shit coming out of that arm. He's got 5 or 6 different great pitches. Don't go down that road of nasty shit. I know where you're going. I can see it in his face. There was a comment coming. Don't you think so?
No,
I was not paying attention. Okay, I was just about to say, hey, Marvin, welcome.
Continue your rant about nothingness.
And yes, good evening, Marvin. Thanks for being here on Facebook. The bottom line is this. I am of the camp that says, look, Paul Skenes needs to put together a body of work, that you shouldn't hop over veteran major league players that are putting up that work and have done consistently. And if you remember Mitch Keller in his first couple years, I don't want to say it was a disaster, but he wasn't that great. And he obviously worked really hard to get to where he is. And the Pirates are not an all-star team, and they are not going to go anywhere this year. I hate to say that.
No, they're not.
They're not. And
not this year.
Mitch Keller deserved to be named to the All-Star game. I don't think it's a good look to take a guy like Paul Skenes and throw him up there right away.
Let me just tell you how wrong you are.
Okay, please.
Okay, first you're taking
Paul Skenes.
Yes. Let me tell you how wrong you are about Paul Skenes, okay? First, you have a very Mike Tomlin-esque viewpoint of the older guy should be in there before the younger guy, which is ridiculous. Second, he has the hottest girlfriend on the planet.
Wait a minute.
In Livy Dunn. Mm-hmm. So therefore, that definitely gets him into the All-Star game because it gets Livy into the All-Star game and it gets more people tuning into the All-Star games. And third, he is a money-making machine. And the only thing about the Pirates that matters is ka-ching, 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 and he's bringing home the bacon, baby. Yeah. And he's got a hot girlfriend, and that's all that matters about this team.
I think the Livy Dunn is his greatest achievement thus far.
Yeah. Far.
It's up there. That and the mustache.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we're talking about like long-term relationship potential here. I mean, what are the odds that 5 years from now Livy Dunn and him are together?
Well, she's already been seen with Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Yes.
So
0.
Yeah.
Although I think in the long run, I think he's going to make more bank than Joe Burrow.
You think so?
Oh,
well, it's a baseball contract.
It's a baseball contract.
Yeah, but
he's a pitcher.
I'm talking fundamentals. What do you think, Schwaber?
About what?
About all of this nothingness.
Well, I think that Mitch Keller should have been an all-star. I think Paul Skenes should have been an all-star too. I think they both should have been all-stars.
Okay.
And I think that, there is something about it's nice to reward somebody who's been in the game for a while and has really kind of earned his way and maybe come from nowhere, or at least nowhere special, like not a number one overall pick, and give them that moment. But I think the moment is there for it to be, I'm losing. I can't get the word. I think what I'm saying is you need to have the moment in all its splendor. So you have to, the fact is that people want to watch Paul Skenes.
Yeah, they don't care about the Pirates.
They don't want to watch Mitch Keller.
Listen. I am 100% in agreement with what Steve has said and what you're alluding to, that people want to see this guy in the All-Star game. I get the idea that they want viewership. They want sponsorships, the almighty dollar, all of that. I get that.
Almighty dollar.
But what I'm saying is there is something that is slowly being sucked out of professional sports. And in this case, we're talking about baseball, and it's called integrity. And yes, Paul Skenes has put together 10 starts in his major league rookie season that have been incredible. And he has not the Pirates. He has not lost a start, and his ERA is in the low 2s. He's second in the league in Ks per 9. It's not official yet because he hasn't pitched enough innings, but he would be. He is without question the talent that they said he was, but he has only started 10 games. And the All-Star game is supposed to reward players that are all-stars at their position and have been for a little bit longer. Let me back up a second and say this.
So this is an integrity issue.
It's an integrity issue.
Tell us more.
I would agree. I would be more apt to agree with this selection.
More apt to agree
with this selection of Paul Skenes in the All-Star game had he been on the opening day roster and add another 4 starts, and maybe he was 14 starts in or 16 starts in, but he wasn't even on the opening day roster.
So he didn't meet the Chris Klein criteria.
Right.
He did not meet the technical director criteria,
including integrity.
And because of that, integrity of the league is at stake.
I think the integrity of all professional sports is at stake right now, but that's a whole other show.
Oh my God. I could go off on that for 15 minutes.
What makes you the expert on integrity?
Well, nothing.
Just think about what you're saying.
Integrity for the first half of my life.
Just think about what you're saying. Integrity in baseball. This is a sport that started with guys who were alcoholics playing. Ty Cobb was a known alcoholic. So was Babe Ruth. Pure alcoholics used to play dead drunk. Okay. And you have Doc Ellis in the 1970s who pitched on LSD.
He pitched a no-hitter on LSD.
Right.
I didn't think I'd hear a Doc Ellis site.
On top of that, let's talk about all the steroids that were never banned, and then they got rid of all those players who were hitting all those home runs. That was scandalous.
Yes.
In the steroid era, right?
Well, Pete Rose
and now
gambling.
There are billions and soon to be trillions of dollars of betting that's going on in Major League Baseball. And you want to say this game has integrity? This game has never had integrity. It may be the pastime of the United States of America, but Major League Baseball has never had integrity, and that is just a ridiculous thing to say.
They are in the gutter. They are.
All right.
Major League Baseball should be ashamed of themselves.
But they do have a good pitch clock.
Yeah, they the pitch clock is worth it.
The pitch clock is good.
Okay. Marvin Hamilton says facts. He agrees with you. Mike Lawrence says, did Skeens set some kind of record getting picked in such a short time playing? Yes.
That has to be a record.
Yeah. He is the first guy.
He's the first number one pick to make the All-Star game in his first season.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But he was he wasn't selected by the fans.
Right. Because in the past, you would have had to vote him in and he never would have been on the ballot to be able to get voted
That's
in.
Right. That's right. Integrity. So official Chris Chata on Instagram. Thanks for being here again, bud.
Hey, Chris.
He says, your take has been right. The Pirates win 2, lose 2, win 1, lose 2, etc.
Yeah.
They need to go on a 10-game winning streak, but will that happen? Probably not. Absolutely not.
No, they don't have enough consistency in their batting or their pitching, honestly, to be able to go on that kind of win streak.
The big issue,
even if they went to like 7-3, wouldn't you say, Mark, that would be good enough?
Well, I think the main issue is that Paul Skenes can't make multiple starts in a row.
Yeah, well, they only want to they only want to pitch him every 6 times.
Yeah,
so they want to keep it further out.
For this 3-game set this weekend, we've named our starter Paul Skenes, and Paul Skenes.
It's like the Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Left field, Bugs Bunny. Right field, Bugs Bunny. Center field, Bugs Bunny. Remember that cartoon, Schwaber?
I'm not a big cartoon guy.
No, that's a classic.
Man, it is. It's
a classic.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be on LSD to watch it.
I just see you at home, like sitting with a bag of Cheetos, watching a stupid rabbit jump up and down.
First of all, it would be a bag of Fritos, not Cheetos. Okay. And second of all, there's nothing stupid about that rabbit.
Pringles for me.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Yep. Abracapocus.
What's his catchphrase?
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
That's pretty good, Mark.
Yeah. What's up, Doc?
Yeah.
All right. We digress.
I think we've had enough of this baseball stuff. Seriously. I think it's starting to ruin our minds.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's one stat I heard today on the radio. Bob Pompeiani brought this up, and I thought it was an extremely telling stat.
I like Pompeiani.
I like
Bobby P.
Yeah.
I have a thing about Pompeiani that maybe we'll talk about in the Steelers segment.
Okay.
But I digress.
So he just threw this out there in a conversation. He said the Pirates bullpen has blown 16 saves this year.
Have they?
Yeah.
That's
blown.
Bad.
So we all know what that means. That means they came into the 8th or the 9th inning in a save situation and they were leading and they blew it.
Yeah.
If they had blown 50% of those saves, they'd be in the wild, or if they had blown 50%,
right, only
of those, only 8, they'd be in the wild card.
Right.
So, I
disagree with that. The reason why that would not be true is because the only reason why they have these save opportunities is because they can't hit. So they're coming in 2-1.
Well, right.
3-2.
But at that point, it's on the pitcher. And I don't know how many of those were at home where if they had pulled it out, they'd the top of the inning.
You can't ask the pitchers to never give up runs.
No, of course not. But you come in with a lead. Your job is to shut the other team down and not give up a run and not blow the save. So had they gone on a 50% clip on those 16 blown saves, they'd be in the wild card. What my point is not that they are a wild card team. My point is that this is the quandary that we're in right now, which is you can argue either side of this coin. You can argue that the Pirates are the Pirates and they're doing what they do and their lineup is horrible and they're just never going to go anywhere and they're wasting these pitching opportunities if they don't get a bat for this year or next year, or they are so close. They are so close even with this lineup because of their pitchers. It's hard to argue either one.
Are a madman.
Well,
they are so close.
Well, here's the deal. If the Pittsburgh Pirates were a clutch team, then everybody would be much more excited about this team because they'd be winning those close games.
That's right.
And everybody'd be like, wow, this team's really got something going on. But they don't. And this goes back to what I keep talking about since the beginning of the season. They don't have an identity yet. They don't have that player who's going to get that hit for them, who's going to take them, from a 3-2 losing to a 4-3 winning. They just don't have it. I think Brian Reynolds is starting to show signs of being that guy, but he can't do it by himself. It's ridiculous to think that anybody in Major League Baseball can do it by themselves, but he's really trying. So I have to give him some credit. I'm really happy he did make the All-Star team, and it would be an absolute travesty if they did decide to sell him at the highest price, because Mark is right. That is exactly what the Pittsburgh Pirates would do.
Yeah, they would. But see, this year, I don't think if they're going to sell anybody right now, and it would be well, here's where I come down on who are they going to sell. I said this in the beginning of the year, and I stick by it. Aroldis Chapman. They signed him.
Oh yeah, they're getting
to the contract.
Yeah, he'll be sent.
I don't know if anybody wants him. He's been pitching so poorly though.
But he's also come in situations where it's a close game. You know what I mean? With that lineup, he doesn't have any support. So
battle tested.
Right, he is battle tested. They signed him in the beginning of the year. They paid him that $10 million because they didn't know what was going to happen with Skeens. They had no idea that Jones was going to be as effective as he was. They had no idea.
Now he's on the IR.
Right. That Bailey Falter would have such a great beginning of the year. And they had no idea that their bats would be as horrible as they are. They signed him with the intent of being able to flip him at the trade deadline because he's a battle-tested commodity who has won he's a great reliever. And he still throws 104. He threw a pitch the other night that was 104 miles an hour.
Really?
Yeah, I was listening to the fan. He came in and it was like 102, 101, 104. 3 pitches in a row. I mean, the guy brings the heat. Woo. And you're telling me there's not a playoff contender that wouldn't want to add him to the bullpen? He is a trade chip. Nobody is really talking about it.
Yeah.
My prediction, as if I was the Grand Schwabini, my prediction would be at the trade deadline, regardless of where the Pirates are, because unless they go on a 10-game win streak, they will be trading Aroldis Chapman for prospects. Absolutely.
So now shall we go to the Grand Schwabini?
Let me answer Mike's question first.
Mike has a question on Facebook. How is the Buccos' attendance this year?
I just looked it up. They're 25th in Major League Baseball. They have an average attendance at home of 21,455. And on the road, believe it or not, they're bringing in 28,455.
That's not bad.
It's not very good, actually. 25th out of what, 32?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, for the Pirates, I think that's actually not.
Well, let's face it. Nobody goes to the Pirates game until summertime, and summertime's here, so we'll see if they can sell out those weekenders.
The Pirates always give away their best players, says Marvin Hanlon.
Marvin is so true.
So before we get to the Schwabini's prediction, I want to remind you that you can catch the Sports Porch podcast right after the show if you want to catch up and listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. Now it is time for the Grand Schwabini Predicts. Lay it on us, Grand Schwabini.
The Grand Schwabini sees the future. And the future involves the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. I have been asked a question by the Minions. The question is, will Paul Skenes get the nod as your National League Baseball All-Star starting pitcher?
Ooh. Rub it.
I'm rubbing the lamp, and it becomes very clear to me that Paul Skenes will start the All-Star Game for the National League. The future has been seen.
I love it. I love it.
So you
that
really
would be
think
great.
they're going to name him the starter?
I do.
You don't think that's going to ruffle some feathers?
It might, but
nah, he's a very popular pitcher.
I don't think anybody really cares.
No, let's face it. All the pitchers who really should be pitching probably are like, I don't want to pitch anyway, so I don't even want to be there. Yeah. So let's just let the phenom pitch.
Okay, so the Grand Schwabini predicts that Paul Skenes will get the All-Star starting nod.
That would be great. Who would he get to pitch against? Judge, Machado.
I think Shohei Ohtani is going to lead off.
Ohtani. Mm-hmm. How about that? He gets a pitch to those three guys.
Well, he has struck out Ohtani and given up a home. So it's kind of a, it's an all or nothing thing with him. I mean, look, putting aside all of my thoughts on it and all that kind of stuff, I think it'd be pretty fun to watch him start the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that he's not fun to watch. I mean, he's got great stuff.
Dude, let's face it.
You know,
none of us are watching the All-Star game.
Well, I'm not going to.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I might.
If Skeens pitches, I will probably turn it on.
I'll watch the first inning if he pitches. If he doesn't pitch first, I won't watch it at all.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I feel about it, Mark.
Yeah, because it's not worth it after that. Okay, we have some Steelers news here. And I think
no, it's bad news.
Yeah, it's regarding Cam Sutton.
Okay. What did this derelict do?
Yeah. Well, why don't you take it away, Steve?
Well, we already know that he's had domestic abuse problems, and it's clearly documented. That's why Detroit Lions got rid of him. And when the Steelers picked him up, they knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
And today the NFL said, you will be not playing in the first 8 games. And that's actually double what I thought would happen. And I think it's actually a good sign that the NFL is finally cracking down on this domestic abuse issue. I hope he's just not the only guy they go after, to be honest with you. Right. I think it's good. And actually for the Steelers, it probably works out better because they got it rough on the back end. The first 8 games aren't that terrible. Right. So I think they could probably do without him in that slot, that nickel position, wherever they're going to play him. So he'll be out the first 8 games.
I guess the question becomes, how do you feel about bringing in a guy where you know this is the case?
Look, they've had a lot of nefarious players that play for the Steelers doing nefarious things.
All teams do,
right? So I don't know. Personally, I think he's paying what he should get, penalized for, and you just move on from there. Plus, let's face it, if he wasn't a Pittsburgh Steeler already, they wouldn't have brought him back. So they think that was just a one-time thing. They knew him from before this happened, and he's, that I think all that kind of factors into the fact that they brought him back.
Well, I mean, yeah,
and they knew he was going to get a suspension. They just didn't know how much.
A positive way of looking at it could be that maybe they felt like it would help him to bring him back into the Steelers culture.
Well, yeah, I mean, and let's face it, they brought in Mike Vick. Who could be worse than Mike Vick and what he did?
Right.
I mean, he already served his time when they brought him back. But I mean, that guy did some despicable things.
He did do some despicable things. And Marvin chimes in on Facebook again and says these guys need to make better decisions. I mean, thanks for telling us what we already know. Cam was a Steeler before, and Tomlin protecting a rehabilitate. What is
that's a great name, man. He's got the word of the day today. Rehabilitatable.
Rehabilitatable. I'm not
rehabilitatable.
This guy's got a medical degree. He's got like it. 83 years of school.
I don't think that's a word. I think it's
I like it.
That's a deflitch.
That's a great word.
He's got a medical degree. He thinks he can just start making up words like nobody's going to notice. Well, guess what? We caught you.
Guess what? I love it.
That's not a word.
It's a word. Rehabilitatable.
No.
And he's also drinking. So.
He would put it this way. He's had a rough weekend. He was out, patching up fingers and hands from being blown off over the 4th of July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if anybody should be drinking, it should be the doctor.
They say that and St. Patrick's Day is the worst time for them.
God loves Marines because we keep heaven packed full of souls.
Well, thanks for that Full Metal Jacket, boy.
Full Metal Jacket.
It wasn't relatable.
Anyway,
actually,
that's what's going on with. Can I tell you my Bob Pompeiani story now?
Sure.
Okay, so that Bill Hillgrove is not coming back, right?
Right.
So it sounds like Bob Pompeiani is going to get the job,
right?
So that's it. That's all there is. That's it. I thought the people would want to know who they're going to be listening to when they, put on the Steelers.
Yeah. I think Bob's going to get the job.
Yeah. It's down to him and Rob King.
Rob King?
Yeah.
Who the hell is Rob King?
He does a lot of Penguin stuff. He's really good play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
I like Bob Pompeiani.
But I think Pompeiani will get it. He'll probably bring his daughter along too for the ride.
You can trust.
Celia, I think
they got canned from the Pens.
No, I think it should be Hockey Jesus, the Grand Schwabini, and the technical director. I think we should do the play.
Well, I'd love to do it.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Well, we can go
whole other dimension.
We could go down to the Hall of Fame area, and we could actually call a couple plays.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah,
a zig and a zag.
Yeah. And then he goes into the end zone.
And then he was going down there and he was running real fast and he threw the ball down there and he dove in the end zone and then it was a touchdown and I couldn't believe it. I said, "Joy."
That's a double yoy.
Did you like that one? Yeah,
we just did it. We don't even need to go down there. We just did it live.
I'm just glad I wasn't watching myself while I was doing that.
Yeah, you're this is going to hurt when you play that one back.
All right, we're going to make this HJ really quick here because there's some rumors going around. So first, if you're watching live, wait a minute. We got an official Chris Chada Instagram comment here. Do you find it as annoying as I do, the huge cast of ex-Pirates doing Pirates broadcasts? It's a clown car of ex-players. Hey, listen, official Chris, let me tell you, I like Mike Brown and Joe Block. I like those two guys. They call the play-by-play on the Fan or on the Pirates radio network. I think their voices are good, and I think they're really good. However, I think you're 100% correct that whoever they have on the other side of that, the color guy, they are some of the most boring baseball announcers I've ever heard in my life. All due respect to them as baseball players. I think it's Bob Wainer and Young, Kevin Young.
Kevin Young played second base for them. Neil Walker.
Neil Walker. Look, they were all good players and all respect to that. But as far as the clown car of ex-players. So if you're watching us live all over the world on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, as well as Instagram, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. It's the Sports Porch Podcast. This is the Black and Gold edition. We will be dropping it on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or anywhere you get your freaking podcasts right after the show. Please subscribe. Leave us a review. Here's CD says, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Oh,
yeah, that's a great classic, Myron Cope. And you can follow us. That's Chris Berman.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. And you can always follow us at the Sports Porch Podcast on YouTube. Now we're going to bring in Hockey Jesus. Hockey Jesus preaches on the podcast after every single Penguins regular season game and during the Stanley Cup playoffs, the finals, and the off season. Please subscribe to the Sports Porch Podcast. And you can catch the Hockey Jesus updates. Hockey Jesus is preaching right now. And what Hockey Jesus has to say is ignore the Crosby rumors. Sid's not going anywhere.
Listen up, people who have a thing that thinks Sidney Crosby is going anywhere. If you see anything on the internet that says Sidney Crosby rumored to be leaving the Penguins, Sidney Crosby not happy with his current structure, Sidney Crosby doesn't want to play with the Penguins anymore because they're not doing the right things, it's all clickbait, people. Do not click on it. Do not give these losers one bit of your time. You have the Hockey Jesus right here, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to hear.
Please do.
Sidney Crosby will be signing with the Pittsburgh Penguins. It will either happen this week. I predict, if I was the Grand Schwabini, I would predict that by this time we meet next week, he will be signed to a 3 or maybe a 4-year contract. That'll put him in Pittsburgh for the next 4 to 5 years, which gets him to about 41, 42.
Yeah, he's going to be a Penguin for life.
And he already said that he hasn't decided if this is his last contract. And here's the deal. With Sidney Crosby, he wants to play at the highest level. If he can't be a first-line center, he's going to retire.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you will absolutely know. The other thing, the other small thing you need to know about his contract is it'll be an over 35 contract, which means they can't do this, give him a signing bonus, make it nice so that people can pick him up at the end of the year. You can't do any of that with people, with players that are over 35. So you have to pay him the full contract no matter what it is at any year. So if he did want to go, somebody would have to eat his whole contract. My guess is it's probably going to be in the range of between 10 and 11 million. I think that's probably what it'll be for 3 to 4 years. Stop clicking on that clickbait. It's garbage. I hate it every time I see it. I get a lot of feeds on hockey on my searches, and I never click on them. I just laugh at them. And you should do the same.
That's bullshit. He clicks on them all the time. He sends us text saying, yeah, I fell for this one.
No. I screenshot it to you guys and I say, look at this moron.
Right.
Don't click on it. Well, you could click on a picture, but as a technical director, I think you know what that will get you.
Yeah, nothing. I get it. Okay,
so that's it. That's really all there is with the Penguins news. There's this development camp going on now where all the new players are coming in. Right. You're not going to learn anything from that. It's just a reason to get everybody in the room and say, welcome to Pittsburgh, and here are all the players, and have fun.
Here's a puck, go play.
Yeah, I think they know how to do it. By the way, I did see a story, and this will be it after this. I did see a story where Sidney Crosby actually did go to developmental camp for the LA Kings before he got picked.
Did he?
Yeah. Wow. There's actually a picture with him with a LA Kings, developmental jersey. It's not their real jersey, but it's got that crown and it's kind of purple. Yeah. It was weird. It was pretty weird to see. I think, I don't know if it was Rob Rossi on The Athletic who did that, but it was pretty weird to see that he actually did it. He was talking about who the great players were, and everybody said that he was like, at that point, and he was only 16 at the time, he was like better than almost everybody on the ice.
It's interesting. There was something on the radio today. They were saying they think that Paul Skenes, and this does have to do with hockey, they think that right now Paul Skenes is the greatest rookie Pittsburgh sports figure ever. That's what they're trying to say. Or Paul Zeiss was saying this. And they're comparing him to Big Ben, Sidney Crosby, and Paul Skenes. For my money, Sidney Crosby was the best rookie. He scored 101 points as a rookie.
He scored 102 points, but the problem is 106 points that year was scored by Ovechkin, and he ended up winning the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he's the best rookie of all time. Pittsburgh player.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. I think it's Sidney Crosby.
Well, who even knows? I mean, how did Barry Bonds do his first year?
Not that great.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't great.
And Big Ben.
I don't know, dude. Mario Lemieux was pretty impressive when he came in.
Yeah, I don't know. They were only talking about those.
He scored on his first shift on his first shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. At that point, he was scoring at 100% clip. Okay. So I just wanted to throw that out there. This is the Sports Porch podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcast. It is now time for Stump the Yinzer. Stump the Yinzer.
All right.
Are you ready?
Sure.
So here's what Stump the Yinzer is. Hockey Jesus is our resident Yinzer, born and bred in Western PA. It doesn't get any more Yinzer than him, other than maybe his brother Doug or his brother CD.
They're Yinzers.
Yeah, but I think you're the biggest one.
Well, yeah, because I've stayed in Pittsburgh the longest, so screw those guys.
There you go.
Yeah, they're fake.
Sorry, brothers.
So what we do is we ask a Pittsburgh sports question of the Yinzer. He gets a chance to answer. If he answers, he retains his title, which was bestowed upon him by blood. If he doesn't get the answer, our resident Grand Schwabini gets a chance to answer and become the Yinzer for the week. We got that down now?
I'm ready.
Here is the question. Stump the Yinzer. Mario Lemieux once said about this famous Pittsburgh broadcaster, "One time I was on his radio show. I didn't understand a word. I just answered the questions. Yes, no, I think so." Who was the broadcaster?
I'm going to go, and I don't know this one, but I'm going to go with Myron Cope.
I'm going to go with who was the Penguins announcer that would say, "Scratch me in the back with an axe."
Mike Lang.
I'm going to go Mike Lang.
Okay, the answer is Myron Cope.
I retained my Yinzer status.
There you go.
I don't know why Myron Cope would be interviewing Lemieux other than to get all the Steelers fans to start watching some hockey.
Yeah.
and back in the early 80s, that was definitely needed.
Okay, guys, this is one of our favorite parts of the show because I think everybody right now might be a little bit hungry.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Taste the
honey sauce.
Taste the
Taste the
goodness
of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
So this is the Trader Joe's snack time segment. Everybody knows I work at Trader Joe's. Great place to work. Great store. One of the best grocery stores ever, to be honest with you, and a great place to work.
Great people.
They do not pay us for this. They're not an official sponsor, but they did give me permission to do this. So we're going to have a good time. What we do is every week I bring a product or two home from Trader Joe's and I let the guys taste it. We give our honest opinion on it. This week, it's a double shot product and a little creation of my own. It is a snack. And the first part of the snack is something called Everything But the Bagel seasoned kettle cooked chips.
Chips.
So we all know what an everything bagel is.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So these are potato chips that have the everything bagel seasoning on them. Mm-hmm. And what I did is I created a dip. So it's not just dry.
Okay. Oh, good.
I created a dip with Trader Joe's sour cream. Nothing special about that other than it's good sour cream.
Okay.
And our crunchy chili onion sauce, which is super good. Super good.
Is it hot or no?
It is. It is hot.
It's hot.
On its own.
Is it hot or is it spicy?
So here we have the crunchy chili onion sauce, okay, which can actually be used as you can rub it on steaks, seafood, stuff like that. And then right here, we have the everything but the bagel chips. Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open them up.
Woo! This stuff right here, man.
Dude, it is hot. Look,
Look how oily it is.
Well, it's garlic, olive oil, chili, onions. And but let me tell you, we're not going to use that as the dip. If you use that as the dip, I'll have to get a fire hose and put the fire in. You
already put some in the sour cream.
Yes, I already put some in the sour cream. I just wanted to bring the jar down so we could do that.
I had to give it a little whiff.
This stuff is a 5-alarm fire. Now, I did have a guy come in the store and buy like 8 of these. And that's how I found out about it, because I'm like, oh, wow, you got a little crunchy chili onion thing going on. And he was like, yeah, man, I put this on everything. I use it just as a dip by itself. I can't stop eating it. So I took it home and I made the mistake of putting one of our little corn chip dippers into it and eating it, and like ran out of the house with my mouth on fire.
How did it feel the next day? Not good.
Bad.
Did you run out of the house screaming?
Yes. Screaming. So
dogs
here we go.
Are chasing you down the driveway.
And here's the homemade dip where I just put a little bit of sour cream and the crunchy chili onion sauce in there. And it would probably help if I let everybody know exactly what we're doing here. So Trader Joe's product of the week, snack time. It's a double shot. Everything but the bagel chips with a sour cream and crunchy chili onion sauce dip. You guys dig in and let me know.
I'm going to get a few chippies.
Yeah, go for it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Snack time, baby. Snack time.
These chips are addictive. I will tell you that.
I love everything but the bagel.
Everything?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Going in. You're right. That dip is a little spicy.
Very good, though.
It's good, though.
Oh, my God. Those chips, I could eat that whole bag.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, those chips are perfect.
They are. It's a winner.
Yeah, go get them now. Go get them now, people.
Yep.
This is the best snack we've had on the show.
Wow. That's high praise.
Those are excellent.
Yeah. They're good with the dip, too. Do you think I got the crunchy chili onion and the sour cream ratio right, or should I add
I think it needs more crunchy chili onion.
Really?
To be honest,
a little
with you.
hotter.
Oh, I think you did it pretty well.
Okay. I think you could go a little hotter.
All right.
That is top notch right there.
Very good.
Excellent snack time.
Alrighty, guys. I'm glad. Woo! It's hot anyway. I'm glad you approved. There is our Trader Joe's snack time. Yes, indeed. Let's take her on out.
Oh, yeah.
We do this so we can eat more.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Come on, Schwabini.
Taste
the honey sauce.
Taste the
goodness of the biscuits with that honey sauce.
Don't get that
honey sauce on me.
I don't
like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
Okay.
Love that snack time.
Thank you, Trader Joe's, for that. And you guys have fun with that. Okay, next segment on the Sports Porch Black and Gold podcast, what we are watching. So lots of streaming services out there. We like to stream things. Everybody likes to stream things. Please keep your streaming jokes to a minimum.
Stream at your own will.
At your own risk.
Peril.
This can go in so many different directions.
Stream in your own backyard.
There you go. Please stream in your own backyard. We select a few things that we're watching and we talk about them. The qualification is that you have to have completed the movie or documentary, or if it's a multiple season show, you at least have to have completed the season that you are watching in order to do it. So we're going to start with HJ.
Well, mine's not a streaming service this week.
It's a movie. It can be a movie, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. HJ has gone to see. I still have to.
Come on.
I still.
You can do it.
Mike Lawrence says stream bourbon and Coke. That's what.
Oh yeah, is. Mike, you're speaking my language now.
This I'm curious about.
I just leave the Coke.
HJ is streaming
Inside Out 2.
The movie.
Come on.
Did you go with the Boy Scouts?
You rented a cartoon?
It was not. It's in the movies.
You went to the movies?
I went to the movies to see a kids movie.
Why?
all I can tell you is, have you seen Inside Out, the movie?
Yes, I saw the first one
with
my kids.
Not. Okay.
No, I didn't.
So Mark is kind of disqualified from any bad mouthing of this movie because he didn't see the first one.
Good luck with that.
Right. Which makes sense because it is a kid film and you don't have children. So that makes sense. But Madison would love this movie. You should take her to go see this movie the next time you're together.
She's probably already seen it.
She probably has because it has grossed $1.22 billion worldwide since its release in June.
Probably not. If it's not Taylor Swift or golf, she's out.
Well, I can tell you here's why I went to see it because it actually has like very adult themes to it. Because it's about a girl going through puberty and their parents' reaction to that inside of their head. Okay. And also there is
You went to see a kids movie in the movie theater about a girl going through puberty.
No,
it's a cartoon.
No, I did not. Okay. I went to see Inside Out, a movie that has grossed $1.22 billion worldwide.
Well, now I understand why.
That has characters that are in, essentially they imitate the way your thinking process is with these characters in your brain, right? So they have anger, all the normal ones, happiness, sadness, right? That was in the first movie that you didn't see, Mark. And in this new one, there's new characters like anxiety and embarrassment. And they basically go through typical teenager scenes of, being embarrassed and trying in Riley's case, trying to make the hockey team, right? So she's in a hockey team with other girls. She's going to high school soon. So what kind of things are going through her mind when she's trying to make the hockey team and make friends and go to a new school and keep her old friends. So
and this all revolves around puberty.
It all revolves around the characters in her head, which are animations and very well done. By the way, they actually did use neurologists to kind of back up the way you're thinking.
Right.
And the way your thinking process works in your brain with like long-term memory and short-term memory and how you kind of get rid of some things and keep some things. They just did it in a very visual way.
I still want to explore this puberty angle.
I think we should save that for another show and move on.
How about you, Mark, former psychologist? Can we explain a young woman's puberty in a 2-hour Disney Pixar movie?
1 hour, 45 minutes.
Pass.
See, smart.
All right.
It's an excellent movie. If you have children, I absolutely suggest to go see it. But honestly, it's not really a theme movie for like 5 or 6 year olds. Like 5 or 6 year olds might think the characters are funny, but they won't get the story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is it's actually a movie about girls' puberty for
it's more like
middle-aged men.
Did you watch The Incredibles?
Of course I did.
Is that Toy Story?
No. He doesn't have any kids.
No, he's like completely out of the animation world.
I saw Incredibles and Incredibles 2.
But all those animation stories have a storyline that are there for adults.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's not just for the kids.
Right.
The humor is kind of on a kid level, but on another level, there's more humor that only you're going to get.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is great about these animation movies.
I still have not...
Especially ones that, make over $1 billion worldwide.
Well, I mean, the money is great, but I still have I'm still trying to rectify in my head the whole, none of these other movies we're referencing were described as it's a puberty thing. I think there's an issue here. I really do.
That one.
What you haven't gone through puberty yet, and you don't know how to react.
That's a totally separate issue.
I think that's the issue we need to go down.
No, that's a totally separate issue because I am not a young woman, and so their de facto will never go through young woman's puberty.
You're not a young woman yet.
No, this is true, but I have made the choice to remain a man, and I am just saying that. Don't you think it's weird? You think that's kind of weird?
I think my reaction kind of spoke to that.
Yeah. Okay. Pass. All right. HJ went to see Inside Out 2, the movie.
By the way, I went with my wife. I didn't go alone.
That probably made it even more.
That helps.
Yeah.
And we had the good seats. The seats where you have your own space.
Yeah.
You're not near anybody else.
Didn't sit near any
I'd
children.
say in the future, lead with that.
Yeah.
No, I liked your response much better the way I did it.
Okay. All right. The Grand Schwabini is watching Bratz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to watch this.
On Hulu.
But it's on Hulu, so I can't.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I decided to, go into the realm of you folks who watch a lot of
80s
documentaries.
Right. 80s documentaries.
And I basically proved to myself why I don't watch documentaries.
You had it figured out?
Because I already knew the story. We all know, the Brat Pack, a bunch of young actors in their early 20s get famous for, these
Molly Ringwald
coming of age type movies.
Yeah, this is when Rob
Breakfast
Lowe,
Club, St. Elmo's Fire,
Demi Moore,
yep,
kind of wonderful, Pretty in Pink,
Judd Nelson,
Anthony Michael Hall,
that whole crew. Yeah. So, I thought it was stupid. Honest
opinion.
Here's kind of what it comes down to, right? Now look, I sort of get it. What happened is some writer, basically wrote a piece on them that was kind of geared towards clickbait, which we call now, right?
Yep.
And it was to get a reaction. And so we called them the Brat Pack. And it was to kind of suggest that, maybe these are actors that aren't really taking things seriously. They just kind of lucked into these roles.
Right.
And they're not all that anyway. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it dramatically changed the lives of some of these actors. Now, while I do think that is true in some respects, okay, I also think that the people that it negatively affected just weren't that great.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So think about it like this way.
Yeah.
It didn't negatively affect Demi Moore.
No,
it did not.
It didn't negatively affect Rob Lowe.
Right.
True.
But both of them were really hot.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't negatively affect,
talented.
Yeah. Well,
it didn't negatively affect them.
Right.
Now, Andrew McCarthy, not really an A-lister.
Yeah. But he's still working. Yeah. He still has a career. He's made money like an A-lister here.
Yeah. But look, there's Emilio Estevez. To me, just not special.
Yeah, well, he went on to do Mighty Ducks. That made a lot of money.
He did. He made his money in Hollywood.
But it's kind of
well, he was from a Hollywood family.
But it's kind of
Martin
but
Sheen.
it's kind of like we're making a documentary about how hard it was to be called a bunch of brats.
All right, I get that.
Yeah, I can understand that being
it was just kind
ridiculous.
of like, if it happened to me and I felt that I didn't get big roles because people put me in a box, the Brat Pack box, then I guess that it would, have irritated me to the point where maybe I'd make a documentary about it. But
right.
Yeah, but, 40 years later.
But like to hear you complain about it.
Well, that's a different. See, that's the thing. When you say like this is why you don't watch documentaries. I watch documentaries about things that are interesting. Like I will probably watch this documentary.
Right.
Okay. Now I might not like it, just like you.
No, the only reason why I watched it was because I liked those movies.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that time period.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, and here's the thing too. It also may not have been that good.
Right.
Of a documentary.
Right.
It's possible.
Because sometimes what you say is you like it when they give you, tidbits that you didn't know.
That's exactly why you watch them.
And
of course.
And I didn't really feel like there was a heck of a lot that I didn't know.
Yeah. That's exactly right. So
Yeah.
that makes it a bad documentary.
It was
in my mind.
It was almost just like, okay, they wrote that article and people didn't give you roles and you felt bad. Well, I already knew that. Is there anything more to it? Not really.
Right.
Amy said it was a bit boring, and then she also said it wasn't a real world problem, but some of them acted like it was.
Right.
Yeah. I can see where that makes sense.
Well, and as a quick follow up to that, I watched a documentary on Duran Duran.
Oh yeah, you said you hated it.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was basically like, we formed a band, we wrote a bunch of songs, we partied a lot and got a lot of women and made a lot of money. We didn't really expect to. Then we wrote a bunch more songs and we're still writing songs. That was the whole documentary.
Right.
And I was disappointed.
Nothing added.
Yeah, because there wasn't really any. And I guess to their credit as a band, they didn't really have any real controversies.
Right. Nobody wigged out on drugs. Or
I mean, they did drugs.
Yeah.
They had a good time, but they didn't misbehave like the Rolling Stones did. So, there wasn't a lot of drama. Okay. Grant Schwabini did not like Bratz on Hulu. You be the judge. Watch it for yourself. Now, I am going to get absolutely watch the 4-part Bon Jovi documentary. Okay, thanks, Amy. Maybe next.
I thought that was good.
I haven't watched that one.
I mentioned that.
I'm going to get lambasted for this, but here's the thing. I do not have a whole lot of time to watch documentaries, to watch a whole lot of shows. And I did finish
Nazis.
You guys are going to crush me for this. Just Nazis. There goes the algorithm.
Hitler.
So no. But I did finish the one that I reviewed last week. I finished season 2 of Your Honor. And it's worth every second. Watch it. It's only 2 seasons. It's worth every second. I was telling him earlier. But I am now rewatching The Walking Dead.
Right.
And
what season are you on?
I have just finished season 4. And the interesting thing about rewatching The Walking Dead for me, first of all,
pre-Negan.
Yes, it's right before
Negan season 5. Yeah,
I think Negan is season 5. I stopped watching The Walking Dead in season 6.5-ish. I watched the whole season with Negan, season 5.
Yeah,
thought it was awesome. Season 6, I stopped watching when Rick died. Supposedly died.
Okay, right. Okay.
Oh yeah. And when was that? Season 3, right?
No. Like season 7.
Oh really?
Yeah, he made it all the way through Negan.
Rick Grimes.
Yeah, Rick Grimes. Yeah, the lead character.
Yeah, I know. He made it that far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What happened for me is it and I won't go into the details of why.
I was thinking about his buddy.
He
didn't make it through season 2.
Yeah, that was Shane. Yeah.
Shane,
He killed Shane in season 1. So for me was it kind of jumped the shark for me in season 7.5, and I was just kind of like I think what was happening
in the prison, that's where it kind of started going wonky for me.
Well, I think what happened was I just started getting tired,
like fatigued.
Yeah. So I had to put it away. And at the same time I was watching Fear the Walking Dead. So I was like just inundated with this stuff. So I have committed myself now that the entire series is pretty much over to going from day one, watching all of them. So I will say that I am enjoying this because I forgot a lot. I am enjoying this more than I've ever enjoyed it before, and because I kind of remember some of the stuff that's coming.
Right.
It's even better. And I'm also picking up on some of the little things and the foreshadowings that I missed. So I would encourage you, if you were a big Walking Dead fan,
it's a great show.
Go back and watch it again.
Well, remember when I started to watch it, I started when they were like on season 7 or 8 already.
That's right.
And I'm like, I'm just going to pick it up because I hear it's only got like 3 more seasons left and everybody watches it. And I really enjoyed it because I wasn't in the hype, but I was in the hype towards the end.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it up to you to decide how you like it.
Well, I got a long way to go. I can't blow through 8 episodes in a day like I used to. I'm lucky if I get 2 in. So, it's like tonight, I would normally, if we weren't doing the show tonight, I'd be in there binge watching because it's nice because they're all about 43 minutes long.
Yeah, you can watch 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, I can get 2.5 in. But anyway, Walking Dead. So, hey, anything left? Great show tonight, fellas.
Nothing left.
I got nothing left in the tank. You took it all away from me.
We laid it all on the line.
There you go. Finish the bagel chips.
No brainer.
Yeah, I know. No. All right. Thank you for watching the Sports Porch. If you're watching us live, this is the Black and Gold edition in Pittsburgh, all over the world on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Instagram. And of course, you can always re-listen to the show live on Radio PGH every morning at 8 a.m. and every evening at 11 p.m. So tonight, get on over to Radio PGH, grab that stream, listen to it in your earbuds. And you can catch us on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. For my illustrious co-host, Schwabini and Hockey Jesus, I am the technical director, and I am out. Jablonsk.